Do you know why the Denver Nuggets have pickaxes on their uniforms? It's for when they need to dig themselves out of a hole. I'll tell you how the Nuggets pulled off an incredible, wild comeback for an awesome road win versus the Hawks up next on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for joining us and making us part of your day, being with us, being an everydayer, making us your first listen, and helping us be the number one podcast network for sports in all the land. We appreciate you guys being with us for each and every episode, including Friday nights after midnight, after dark episode of Locked On Nuggets with me, Matt Moore. I've been covering the Denver Nuggets for 14 seasons. I'm coming to you a little bit late. I had family stuff going on after the game, which was wild, just wild. I'll tell you about that coming up on today's show. We'll go over how it is that the Nuggets were able to pull themselves out of a 23-point deficit, which was the largest. They were down 19 at the half to walk away with another road win as they win 134-133 over the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta. Unbelievable comeback by the Denver Nuggets. We'll talk about it on today's show. Hey, shout out in the comments here at youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets to Note Jackson 3212, J Note Jackson 3212. My first NBA game ever. And he says, I was there. He was in the building for it. So you get to see an awesome one, man. Okay. I don't really feel the need to recap the first half, not just because it sucked if you were a Nuggets fan, but because we were all kind of like, okay, all right. This was a boilerplate. Yeah, they didn't have it tonight. Did not have it. They just, you get a handful of those. Every team has them. The Thunder will have one maybe this entire season. You have those games where you just you don't have it. The Nuggets in that first half couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat. And that impacted their defense. And that's kind of Hastings talked about this on the broadcast. That would have been the takeaway tonight is hey, even if you're not hitting shots, you're going to have to go out there and defend. It's not going to be easy and fun every night playing offense. Some nights you're going to miss shots, and you're going to need to find a way to not get absolutely roasted, as they did in the first half. The Hawks shot 13 of 24 from three-point range, 54%. They shot 29 of 49 for 59.2% from the field in that first half. They had 8 turnovers, same as the Nuggets, but they were just shooting the lights out. Denver was 4 of 17 from 3 versus 13 of 24. They were down by 9 3-pointers at halftime. Jokic at the half, 2 of 13, 10 points, minus 18, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and a minus 18 team worst on the team. It was okay, couldn't hit anything. Jokic had a bad night. Nobody could hit anything. Malaise kicked in, got hit with that road trip malaise. That's it. And then the second half started. Has been the first half, not gonna lie, but that second half started, and all credit for me. We'll talk about the bench because when you look at the big picture in this game, Nikola Jokic was still a minus 15 in this game. They only won his second half minutes by a paltry. Did they even win his second half minutes? Yeah, they won it by 3. It was the bench that really won this game for them, but it does not happen because the bench would not have played the way that they did or engaged the way they did had it not been for how Joker came out at halftime. Because Joker came out and you could tell that he was determined, invigorated, and went at them. Now, some of this, I think, is an NBA rhythm. I've heard guys talk about this, about hey, we're going to make, they don't talk about it with the media. They only talk about like way after on amongst themselves. But like, I've heard them talk about how you will have games where you're like, look, let's go out there and let's push for 6 minutes, half a quarter, and let's see what we can do. And if we can get back into it, okay. And if not, all right, we'll put the Jets on now and we'll burn. And then if we can't make headway, then we'll call it and we'll get them next time. But Joker came out with such ferocity and intensity, and really on both ends. I thought he was so active defensively. Like he had a block on Dyson Daniels that I thought was really awesome. Like he was protecting the rim. He was making multiple rotations. The whole Nuggets really got into it. And when they started hitting shots and they started, having that kind of vibe, I love the energy, by the way, from the bench, not the bench when they played. I mean, the literal bench, like Hunter Tyson, the bench guys, the bench mob Zeke tonight. Like they were up, they were active during that comeback and really fueled it. And I thought that was really great. Joker was masterful. The floater from the mid-range, bursting past Kristaps Porzingis, bodying Kristaps Porzingis in the post. Poor Kristaps. There was a time when it was like, I really had to have, like, I got into it with Knicks fans who were like, you can't put Jokic on Porzingis' level. And I was like, well, like, actually, like, this is early in his career. And I was like, well, actually, like, Jokic not only is, like, putting up better numbers, but also, like, his team wins when he's on the court. And it got vicious. And now it's just funny because it's just like, yeah, I mean, Porzingis is not anywhere near Jokic's class. And that's okay. Like, Porzingis is a really good player and won a championship. They both have one title, but, like, Jokic bodied him, burst past him, hit him with the layups, hit him with the floaters. The backhanded reverse was absolutely amazing. And he set that tone, and that really invigorated him. The second hero, I think, from this game, and we'll talk about the Valanciunas minutes, but the second hero from this game is Jamal Murray. Because as good as Jokic was with 40 points and 40 points after he had 10, he had 30 points in the second half. Like, here is Jokic's second half line only before I get to Murray. In the second half, Jokic had 30 points on 11 of 13 shooting. And that includes, he was 1 of 2 from 3, 7 of 9 from the line, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, and a +3. Like, he had 30 points in the second half. Unbelievable by Jokic. But as great as that was, in the second half, this is Jamal Murray's line. How about 16 points on 5 of 9, 3 of 5 from three-point range, notably. 12 assists in the second half, only 2 turnovers. Unbelievable. And the passes that Jamal was making were so good. They weren't all to Jokic. Like, he had great finds to Cam Johnson, who we'll talk about in a second. He had great finds to Jonas Valanciunas. He had great finds in transition. Jamal played a phenomenal game, and I thought he was great defensively in that second half too. Jamal was incredible in this game. And I looked it up. The most double-digit assist games he's had in a season was in 2024, the year after the title. He had 10. After tonight, he has 4 in a quarter of the season. So he's on pace to really wreck that. And his playmaking has not gotten enough credit. We talked about it all the time last year about how good he'd gotten, and he's even better this year. And it was absolutely phenomenal. Like, this was a brilliant Jamal Murray game. Jokic was like brute force. He had his usual array of great passes on his way to his 9 assists, but just that combo, the Hawks had nothing for him in the second half, especially because the Nuggets, if I talked about how in the first half they weren't hitting shots and they let it affect their defense, they made shots in the second half and that boosted them defensively. They got ravenous. They really attacked, and it was really impressive. I thought it was a absolutely tremendous performance. We have more to talk about because there's 2 other heroes I want to get to in Jonas Valanciunas and Cam Johnson. We'll talk about the rest of the game and how it worked out as we continue talking about this unbelievable comeback by the Denver Nuggets here on Locked On Nuggets. The NBA season is heating up, and DoorDash has found the perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long. Whether you're watching for the highlights, your fantasy team, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes every game night even better. DoorDash is the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating with something called the Bag Drop. Every time an NBA player scores 50 in a game, DoorDash drops 50% off your order with Dash Pass the next day, and you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. Player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, and stuff you'll actually want. You gotta love that it's not just food. You can get everything from snacks and drinks to headphones, ice, even socks, all delivered. DoorDash is there in the clutch whenever, if you need like medicine, Band-Aids, something simple from a convenience store, you can get that. If you're having a craving for a cherry Coke Zero or a root beer from notable establishments, that you can get that there too. Use DoorDash tonight. Got Thai food. Nothing like Friday night Thai food. It was absolutely terrific. Got it with DoorDash. DoorDash has you covered for late night highlights, last minute watch parties, and double OT fuel ups. The next time someone goes off for 50, use promo code NBA50 the next day to get 50% off on DoorDash with Dash Pass, plus your shot at the bag drop. Dash Pass members only. 50% off up to $10 a day after a 50-point game with promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 or older. Visit DoorDashinYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash in your bag all season long. We're also brought to you today by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, and the momentum flips after a turnover. Or when Bo Nix gets the ball in that fourth quarter, and you know what I'm talking about. FanDuel lets you jump into that moment. I'm going to be on the under in the first half of the Broncos game versus the Raiders, and then the Broncos on the second half spread, because they are great in second halves, and their defense is going to absolutely just tear up this Raiders offensive line, and Gino's going to be running for his life, but the Broncos start slow, and then they turn on late. So I like the under in the first half, and I'm going to be on the Broncos in that second half. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets. Back here on Locked On Nuggets. Thanks for joining us and making this part of your day. Appreciate you guys being with us here on a Friday night, going into Saturday. As a reminder, we'll be with you on Sunday night for No Jinx with me and Ryan. Go check out Mile High Sports and all of Ryan's work over there. You can go check out Cam's thoughts over at Swipe at Cam. And he's also on Locked On NBA tonight, so you can catch his thoughts over on Locked On NBA game night. So I love Cam Johnson in this game, no surprise. Hit shots, that helps with the old box score line. Cam was plus 15 in this game. He was plus 23 at one point. 4 of 9 from 3, all in the second half. And he was a big part of that push right out of the gate, because it was Joker score, Cam 3, Jamal bucket. Like, he was part of that kind of avalanche that they got into. He was 6 of 14 from the field, but 4 of 9 from 3-point range. Only 4 rebounds, but he had a couple during that run in that third quarter where they were like, he was snatching rebounds away from guys that were looking to kind of sneak in there, and they were big ones to get them started on the break. Love Cam's defense. He was active everywhere. I just thought he was I thought he was terrific in this one. He was a big part of that comeback as well. Tim Hardaway Jr., the other wing. So the wings, actually, I want to talk about the rebounding. I mentioned Cam with 4, Spencer Jones with 4, Peyton Watson with 6, Tim Hardaway Jr. with 6, and Bruce Brown with 3. Like, they are getting rebound contributions from the wings with AG out, and that's been massive. Like, they need that. They are not going to survive otherwise. They got through this game despite, Jalen Johnson was amazing in this game. 21 points, 18 rebounds, 16 assists. Jalen had a Jokic line and was a plus 3. And it was the work of everybody else that was able to kind of compensate for what they were getting from Jalen Johnson, as well as from, they got 30 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the villain of Nuggets fans. That guy always just, he sees Nuggets uniforms and can't miss. 5 of 9 for NAW, 10 of 17 from the field. But really, when you look at it, as good as the run was in that third quarter, and it was a great run to get them back into it and reset things. But the Nuggets ran out of gas a little bit. Like, they hit a wall and they couldn't get over the hump. And the Hawks went on a 16-8 run from the 4:38 mark of the third quarter to the end. Jokic had 5, but Dyson Daniels had 4 points and 2 assists, and they made 6 of 9 field goals. Nuggets defense started, it wasn't really slipping. It was stuff like Jamal and Spencer Jones got caught. Jamal called out a switch late, or Spencer was unaware that he was supposed to switch it and got caught on a loop around a stagger screen off ball. So, like, this was, you got back into it, but you're on the road and you're down going into the fourth quarter. And then the fourth quarter happens, and there's a 17-0 run from the Nuggets with the bench unit. 28-8 is the run from the 11-minute mark to the 3:36 mark of the fourth quarter. Jamal goes for 9 points, 2 3-pointers in that stretch, plus 5 dimes in that range, including one to Jonas Valanciunas. If you haven't seen it, go look at that dunk. Like, you had the bench absolutely just going ballistic. It was crazy. It was a great dunk from Val. Jalen Johnson missed all 3 shots in that stretch, and the Nuggets were 7 of 10 from 3 in that range in that fourth quarter. 10 of 15 on field goals. Hawks were just 1 of 6 from 3. Yes, this is about the 3-pointer, and like the Nuggets missed them in the first half, and they made them in the second half, and the Hawks made them in the first half and missed them in the second half. I will say, though, there's a line from D'Antoni that I've always thought really encapsulates how I feel about basketball and rhythm and shooting, and it's the ball finds energy. That if you play with energy, the ball will find you, and that is going to always help you make shots. And the Nuggets had no energy in that first half. They looked like a team that was in Atlanta on a road trip in December and just going through the motions, and we're like, all right, go have it tonight. And in that second half, they all played with energy, and the ball found energy. And I thought it was absolutely just an impressive performance to pull that off. Now, at the end of the game, Hawks go on a 19-9 run in that final 3:28 to get this close again. But to their credit, guess what? The Nuggets won a clutch game. So they're not just like terrible at clutch games now. It was I just thought this was a very feel-good win versus a Hawks team that I think is very good without Trae Young. They are a lot tougher, I think, than people realize. And they were able to find a lot of this was a great game. 4 of Jamal Murray's 12 assists went to Cam Johnson. So it's 4 to Cam, 6 to Jokic, 1 to Val, and then 1 to Spencer Jones on a really smart play that he had. So what I really like about this is a lot of times when guys will have good assist numbers on the Nuggets, even if it's like a higher than usual, it's just like, yeah, they passed to Jokic and he made buckets over and over again. And like Jamal knows how to do that for sure. And that makes them a great combination. Including some of the pocket passes that Jamal was hitting were just, I'm such a obsessive. I feel about passing the way that I think a lot of people feel about Steph Curry 3-pointers. Like, I love watching passing and all the details of it and every single angle of it. And so a lot of it for me is like, I don't just watch what read you make. I want to know how well did you throw the ball? Like, did you throw it too hard, too soft? Where did it land? Did it land in the pocket? Did you hit him in stride? Like, those type of questions are very big to me, because if you throw a pass to a shooter and it is even 3 inches lower or higher than it should be, that takes off their time to be able to get into their shooting motion. And that allows for the defender catch up, which is always going to lower the percentage. And Jamal's passes tonight were all so on point. They were all just absolutely terrific. It was it was just a phenomenal game, I thought, from Jamal Murray, which, it's going to get lost because Joker was Joker. Like, he had 40 points. He had 30 points in the second half. It's like, what hasn't he done yet? Well, he hasn't scored 30 in the second half yet. Okay, well, now he's done that. Mark that one off the list. I like this one because this game, because it does kind of show that they can respond when things don't go correctly. You never want to be a team that only wins when things go to script. Like, you want to be able to win when things go haywire, and that's about as haywire as they can go. And they still were able to pull it out, and that to me is just like incredibly impressive. 23 looks like it's tied for the second biggest comeback at least since 2003. They have come back twice from down 25. In 2007 versus the Pacers and 2019 versus the Grizzlies. But this is the second biggest comeback tied for the second biggest comeback in 22 years for Denver. Nope, I'm sorry. This is actually already updated. So yeah, it's tied with only one other game. And that was the Spurs in 2020 in February. They came back down from 25. So yeah, Big Honey says it here. Coming back from down 20 plus points on the road is an amazing win. It was terrific. Really glad to see this Valanciunas game in terms of the results. I've liked Val's process all season. Like, his on-off numbers have been terrible, and I don't feel like Val's played badly. I haven't been I'll when I sit down and I watch the clips, I'm always like, you could tell how I feel about a guy from watching my face, because it'll just be like, ugh, or like, making noises that my wife and daughter are like, stop it. And I've really liked the way that Val's played this year. It just hasn't translated to success with the other guys. And this was an outrageously good performance from that bench unit. I mean, it really was awesome. And their ability to get that run going in that fourth quarter, I thought, was just absolutely massive for what they were able to accomplish in this game. Another thing, we talked about this the other day on the show with Cam, with Swipa, and it's the Valanciunas Cam Johnson minutes continue to be unbelievably, insanely good. I don't get why, but they are. In 6:26 tonight of that fourth quarter, when it was Jamal, Bruce Brown, Bruce is really good tonight, by the way, too, Tim Hardaway Jr., Cam, and Val. So this is Cam at basically power forward as a third wing. It's Jamal, three wings, and Val. They had a 142. I'm sorry. They had a 142 net rating in those 6 minutes, but they had a 216.7 offensive rating. They were scoring over 2 points per possession for 6 minutes and 26 seconds of time. That's nuts. That is berserk. And they continue to just really put good minutes together. When it's Cam and Val, they play really well together. And that's, I think, something to kind of look at as we go forward, is maybe the stagger needs to be Jamal and Cam with Val. And then when they're healthy, keep AG and Christian with Jokic. That might be it. Perez says, maybe no pressure when not playing with Jokic. I don't know about that. I do think Cam is trying to get used to it. It is a little bit simpler because it's just like, it's traditional pick and roll stuff. And it's like, well, Jokic and Jamal run pick and roll. Yeah, but it's like Jokic pick and roll. By the way, my favorite sequence tonight from Jokic was a Bruce Brown. Like, it just tells you like how crazy this game is in 2026. Bruce Brown sets a screen for Jokic, and he gets around him and gets to the rim. Absolutely wild. Hurricane says Cam feels more aggressive with Val. Maybe. But I thought he was really aggressive in that third quarter with Jokic too. So it was awesome. Great win. This is a phenomenal win. This is one to feel really good about. We'll have more on it on Sunday nights. No Jinx. We'll also get into, as always, we'll take a look towards the week ahead. Hope you guys have yourselves a great weekend. Enjoy whatever it is you do this weekend. We'll catch you after the Hornets game for No Jinx on Sunday night. Appreciate you guys joining me. We'll see you guys again next time on Locked On Nuggets. What a freaking win, man.